Everything in this case starts with the car found in Peter's garage, which was Julia's car. There was hair samples from Julia found in the car, along with a husky sample found in the car. And the only person that has the husky is Samuel. So that means Samuel was either in the car that night or previously. Also, we found lots of feminine products in the car, linking the car back to Julia.
Since we found flowers inside of Julia's car, we're assuming that Julia most likely went on a date with someone, and we're thinking that it was Peter. We think that Julia finally accepted his offer to get back together as a second chance or something like that, and Peter took her on a date. That's what all those phone calls were for prior to on the 18th. And that's also why Peter took out $700. It was to take Julia out on a nice date. The flowers were from him, and the alcohol bottle was also from him. He was drinking, and that's why his blood level showed a BAC of 0.095. Later that night, Julia took him back to his house, and they went back to his bed and were going to sleep with each other. But Julia drugged him with her prescription of olanzapine, which was found to have her DNA on the pill bottle, further linking her to the crime scene. What most likely happened after that was Peter, drugged and drunk, fell on the back of his head, which caused the trauma and knocked him out.
Also, the blood that was found on the floor of the garage was positively ID'd to be Sam's, which places him at the scene of the crime, which stands out because previously he had never been on a fishing trip with Peter, and so he had also never described him and Peter as particularly close, so he wouldn't have been inside the home. And the wire cutters that had blood on them were also positively ID'd to have Sam's blood on them, which were found on the boat.
So because we have found a wire cutter on the boat and it has the Samuel DNA on it, that should be Samuel was likely linked to the crime scene. And we assume that Samuel is the one who took Peter's body to dump in the ocean with his dog, because we have found many bruises on Peter's body. And we also find the dog's hair sample on Julia's car and on the boat. So we can say that Samuel and Julia are together.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good assumption for the fact that if Samuel and Julia were in some sort of relationship together, either romantic or platonic, doesn't really matter, that would link both of them to the crime scene, which makes sense for the fact that both Sam's blood and his husky were found, has evidence shown to be at the crime scene. And the fact that Julia already has some sort of dislike for Peter further shows that there's some intent there. It's important to note that even though evidence from Sam was found at the crime scene, it's not 100% accurate if he was involved with the murder. However, we believe that Julia is the most involved and the most likely suspect of doing the murder, by intoxicating and drugging Peter, along with dumping him into the ocean. And that sums up our case study. So either we get Julia locked up and Samuel gets to be let go, or we throw them both into jail. Thank you. And that's the end of our podcast.